The chains within. In the quiet town of Ravenshade, nestled between misty mountains and dense forests, there lived a young man named Eli. Eli was kind-hearted and creative, but he carried a heavy burden, a deep, uncheckable feeling that he didn't belong in his own skin. He felt as though he were trapped in a body that didn't reflect who he truly was. This inner turmoil led to an identity crisis that left him isolated and misunderstood by his family and community. Eli's grandmother, a devout woman named Abigail, loved him dearly but struggled to understand his pain. She often prayed for him, sensing that something darker was at play. Abigail had heard whispers of demonic attachment entities that preyed on vulnerability, twisting thoughts and emotions to their own ends. She feared that Eli's struggles were not entirely his own. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the town was bathed in twilight, Eli sat alone by the river, staring at his reflection in the water. The face that stared back felt foreign, and the voice in his head grew louder, more insistent. It whispered lies. You'll never be enough. No one will ever understand you. You're broken, unworthy, cursed. Unbeknownst to Eli, these thoughts were not his own. They were the work of a demonic presence that had latched onto him, feeding on his confusion and despair. The devil, a being without gender or form, thrives on chaos and division. It doesn't discriminate, it preys on anyone vulnerable, using their struggles to sow destruction. Abigail, guided by her faith and intuition, approached Eli that night. She sat beside him and placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. Eli, she said softly, I know you're hurting, but I need you to understand something. The pain you're feeling, the confusion, it's not who you are. There's something darker at work here, something trying to control you. Eli looked at her, tears streaming down his face. I don't know what's wrong with me, Grandma. I feel like I'm losing myself. Abigail nodded. It's not you, my dear. It's the chains of darkness that have wrapped around your soul. But there's hope. We can break those chains together. With Eli's permission, Abigail reached out to a group of spiritual warriors known as the Order of Light. They were experts in identifying and removing demonic attachments, not through judgment or condemnation, but through compassion, prayer, and divine intervention. When they arrived, they treated Eli with dignity and respect, recognizing that his struggles were not his fault. The ritual was intense. The spiritual warriors surrounded Eli, their voices raised in prayer as they called upon divine light to break the chains of darkness. Eli felt a surge of energy, a battle raging within him as the demonic presence fought to maintain its hold. But the light was stronger. With a final, piercing cry, the entity was cast out, leaving Eli gasping for breath but free for the first time in years. As the days passed, Eli began to heal. The voice in his head was gone, replaced by a sense of peace and clarity. He still struggled with questions of identity, but now he faced them with a clear mind and a supportive community. Abigail stood by his side, reminding him that he was loved and valued no matter what. The story of Eli's liberation spread through Ravenshade, carrying a powerful message. The devil has no gender, no face, no true identity. It is a force of chaos that seeks to divide and destroy. But those who suffer under its influence are not to be judged or condemned. They are to be loved, supported, and freed from the chains that bind them. And so, the people of Ravenshade learned to look beyond the surface, to see the person behind the pain, and to fight not against each other, but against the darkness that seeks to control them all.